Being successful is a state of mind. Your story is not average. You got a story to tell. Let's tell it.
He's just somebody who is trying to find his way at the end of the day. In the previous years, I think I started to see myself as somebody who was always seeking, but I may not have always been seeking in the right areas, whether it be the people that I put myself around or the environments that I put myself into. But at the end of the day, I think home for me is really within myself.
Sure. But and again, if you like the t-shirt, hop on Notyouraveragesuccessstory.com, cop one, cop two, do whatever it is you gotta do. But we got another solid dude, man, that I've been rocking with for about 8+ years now, man. He's gonna come on and have a discussion with us about some things that he's had to overcome, and we're just gonna see where that goes. Like I said, man, this is a platform, and it's a no judgment zone. We want you guys to come on and share things that you've overcome and share things that you are overcoming in the hopes that it will touch and inspire someone out there that may be doing the same thing. So if you guys can join me in welcoming my homie, man, Malik Parker. What's good? What's good with you? Oreos.
What's good?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. I appreciate you coming on, man. This is pretty solid. I see you repping the fake. You know what I'm saying? K Will.
Supporting friends.
Yes, sir. K Will, man. Hop on. Tapping into my man's story, man. He's been grinding as well. It's an everyday thing, and you know this is love, man. Just to see my man coming on here and supporting him. So, like I said, we're gonna jump into it, you know, and we're gonna talk about whatever subject it is that you want to speak on in regards to what you are overcoming or have overcome. And you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna just turn that over to you. Cool.
So currently what I'm overcoming, still trying to overcome, is really just finding myself. And as I get older, you know, I've experienced different things, learned different things about myself. So I have to constantly adapt. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep pushing. If you give up, then you don't know what could happen. You could find yourself driving yourself to drink, or you know, doing things that really aren't who you are. And so my biggest obstacle that I'm continually trying to overcome is just figuring out who Malik really is.
So who is Malik?
A young man trying to find his way. That's really all I can say right now. I mean, I've learned things throughout the years, whether it be through elementary age, middle school age, high school age, even through college, and now as a young adult. But I'm really just somebody who is trying to find his way at the end of the day. In the previous years, I think I started to see myself as somebody who was always seeking, but I may not have always been seeking in the right areas, whether it be the people that I put myself around or the environments that I put myself into. But at the end of the day, I think home for me is really within myself. And so now that I've identified that, I really need to figure out who I am.
So what would be considered a challenge for you in regards to you identifying yourself?
I think a challenge for me is that and maybe for lack of a better phrase, but I don't even know how to put this into words.
It's okay, we on your time. So.
Man, I guess you could say I'm easily influenced to where if my friends start doing something, I might start doing it too. Not to say I'm gonna jump off a bridge if he jump off a bridge, but I'm pretty easily influenced because I am open-minded to new ideas, and I can ride a wave to, you know, it might lead me in the wrong direction at the end of the day. And so I guess you could say I'm easily influenced.
So I guess my next question would be along the lines of, so I guess in your upbringing, was there anything that occurred that may have, I guess, made you, I guess, a little easily influenced?
I think it boils down to trying to find a home. So, due to my dad's line of work, I never really had a hometown because I always moved around a lot. And with me not moving around a lot, or with me moving around a lot, I always try to find home wherever I was at. And so that could be within my friends or just activities that I got myself into. So that I would say that's something that, it wasn't a specific event that happened, but it was something that was consistently happening everywhere I lived.
So, do you consider being easily influenced a bad thing?
For me, I would have to say, you could say yes and no. And so, part of it was me just really being open-minded to different things. But then, when you act without thinking, sometimes you're just going with the flow. It may not be what you actually want to do or want to be. So that's where it could turn into a negative thing. So selfishness, something that I've had to overcome throughout the years, and I'm still working on it.
Okay, so what are the different things that you've had to, I guess, deal with, or things that you've come in contact with, I guess, along the road of you, even acknowledging the fact that you could possibly be selfish?
I think a lot of it came from just relationships that I had with, whether it's friends or coworkers, to where, things that would bother them, and then when they bring it up, it's new to me. But then they're saying like, well, didn't you learn this growing up? No, I was the only child, so I was pretty, how do I even want to explain it? I didn't have to worry about others as much. And so I think that kind of played into it.
So how was it growing up being the only kid?
It was cool. Got lonely every once in a while, but I didn't have to share things. A lot of the focus within the household was just on me, and so I didn't have to worry about siblings or other relatives that were within the household. All eyes on me.
So could you let us know any pros and cons that comes with being the only kid in the house?
Pros for me was that I got almost everything that I wanted. I didn't have to share anything that I had. I didn't have to worry about others within the household because I was the only kid. And so cons would be, when I get out into the real world and I have these friends or colleagues or coworkers or whoever, a lot of things that I do, like my main focus is on me. And so it's not that I'm putting somebody else down so that I can get up, but I don't take others' feelings into consideration in some of the actions that I take.
Okay. So, how do you see yourself overcoming this? Like, what are you doing to, I guess, I don't want to say, keep you from being selfish, because you are who you are, but like, do you even see it as being a problem?
I do see it as something that can be a problem. And for me, it was something that was constantly brought up from childhood, even into adulthood. The things that were brought up were, it was constantly happening. So with that reoccurring so many times, that conversation coming back up, maybe it's time that I do start paying attention to, what people are talking about regarding me. And so really just taking heed to what others say about me.
Okay, so I guess my next question would be, so I guess as you're learning and continuing to acknowledge that, this is something that you can work on, are there certain things, certain tips, or just different things that you focus on more than others to try to help with the situation? Like, basically, like, if you could speak to someone that is acknowledging the fact that they're selfish, like, what advice could you give them on their road to figuring that out?
Sometimes you have to put the attention that you invest in yourself into others, and I don't want that to be taken in the wrong way, but just being aware of your surroundings, and trying to pay attention to what's going on around you outside of just what's in your line of sight.
So military kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Military. So what advice could you give a military kid that may be, I guess, similar to you, that I guess you can say is easily influenced and is heading down the wrong direction?
I would just have to say you have to understand who you are. Now, I mean, it's definitely easier said than done. For some other folks it might be easier, but just try to be aware. And I know that I'm giving pretty general answers or broad answers, but I think that's the best way that I could put it for people to understand.
Said, I appreciate you for coming on, man, and discussing what you discussed, man. That was powerful, bro. And I really think that someone that is dealing with either, you know, being selfish or, you know, again, searching for a home, I really think that they can find something within your story and within what you shared that can, you know what I'm saying, touch them. And that's all we're about, bro. So
Cool,
like I said,
cool.
I appreciate that. And
I appreciate the invite.
facts, man.
If it applies to you, I mean, I hope you utilize it. If it doesn't apply to you, I hope you pass it on.
Hey, and that's all, you know what I'm saying, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. But one thing that I want to do before I let you get out of here, man, I gotta, you know, gotta support my guy, man. I gotta support my guy. Alright, let's go with this, you know. We got the Perseverance t-shirt jumping off, you know what I'm saying? It's really a root to the brush, you know what I'm saying? And the Q's out there. Road to the Q's.
I am, you are, we are.